In this video, I'm going to show y'all how to increase your credit score guaranteed. Some of these tricks can be done within a few minutes to instantly start seeing some results. And if you're somebody that's wondering right now why it's important to have good credit, let me explain. You're going to need a good credit score in order to buy a house, buy a car, and also get some of the best interest rates on loans. If you want to leverage the bank's money to get funding for your business, you're going to need good credit. Right here with just these few credit cards, I have over $100,000 in funding that I can use for my business. And you can see right here, I do have over an 800 credit score. That's a refreshed, yes, that's a FICO score and not no Credit Karma score. I just had to show y'all that right quick so y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get into it. The first easy thing you can do to boost your credit score is get an AU trade line. AU stand for authorized user. An authorized user is essentially a chance to piggyback off of somebody's credit. So with this, somebody simply adds you as an authorized user on their credit card. This is gonna backdate all the payment history on that credit card and report it to your own credit. So the payment history and the credit limit will be reported to your credit report as if it's your own. This by itself can literally boost your credit score an extra 100 points. Now, of course, there's pros and cons to this. Now, I want you to know when you're doing this strategy, you want to be really careful and get somebody with a good payment history. You don't want to get added to anybody's credit card that they have a bunch of late payments on there or a low limit. There's three things you want to make sure they have: 100% on-time payment history, at least a decent credit limit. So I'll say anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 at least. And you want to make sure they also have some age on that credit card, preferably 5 years. But if you're completely new to credit, then anything will do fine. And to find people who you can be added to their credit cards, you simply just want to go around first to your family members. So your dads, your brothers, your sister, uncles, whatever. If that fails, then I'll recommend at least going to your friends. Maybe you can pay them at $100, $200 to be added onto their credit card. And if that doesn't work, you can search up AU trade lines to find companies that help you do this exact same thing. Now, you want to be really careful with these and make sure it's a trusted website, because you do have to give them a lot of your personal information, like your ID or social and other personal information. And we can move on to the next thing, which is knowing the difference between the two special dates. Those two special dates are your due date and your statement close date. A lot of people do not know about this simple thing. I'm telling you, it's so simple, but they don't teach this stuff in school, so I don't blame you for not knowing. But I'm about to reveal to you exactly what you need to know. Like I said, there's something called a due date and your statement close date. You need to learn these terms. You need to learn these names. Remember this, because these are very, very, very important. Whenever you see a credit card say the due date, that's simply the date that you need to pay off the credit card by, so you don't have to pay any late fees or start paying interest on that money. If you don't make any payment by the due date, this will not report to your credit bureau as a late payment. They give you 30 days from that date to actually make at least the minimum payment. You will have to pay late fees if you don't pay by that date. Statement close date is the date that they actually report the balance over to the credit bureau. So let me explain why these 2 dates are so important. Let's say hypothetically, you have a credit card and the limit on that card is $1,000. That month you spent exactly $1,000, you completely maxed out the credit card at 100% utilization. If you was to pay it off completely in full by the due date, you avoid any interest and you avoid any late fees. But if you was to start using that credit card again by the statement close date, credit card will report any balance that's on that credit card by the statement close date. Now, the statement close date is typically a couple days to a week after your actual due date. So if your due date was on the 30th, then your statement close date might be 7 days after the 30th, of course, of that following month. Now, I'll give you another example. If you had paid off completely in full by the due date, but then you didn't use that card anymore until after the close date, which is like a few days to 7 days afterwards, then it will not report anything to the credit bureau. So if you paid off completely in full by the due date and then use it again until after the close date, it will report a 0% utilization. Where a lot of people go wrong is, as soon as they paid off completely in full by the due date, before the statement close date, before the date actually reports, they start maxing that card right back out. Now, this is the problem, because it will report that to the credit bureau, keeping your credit score low. And utilization actually makes up 30% of your overall credit score. So this is a very important factor that you want to make sure utilization is low. So like I said, what I recommend is you pay it off completely in full by the due date. You put maybe a couple extra dollars, maybe some gas or something like that, nothing too crazy, and let that report to the credit bureau. So on the 30th, you paid off completely in full, and then before the 7th, you put a couple extra spend on there, and then just leave it like that. The reason why you want to put a little bit of spend on the card is because in order to maximize your credit score, you need some type of balance reporting. But still, make sure it's still less than 10% of your overall credit limit. All right, let's move on to the next trick you can actually use. Now, this one does not apply to everybody. It only applies for people who have collections, late payments, charge off, hard increase, or any other thing that's negative in your credit report. This trick is to actually start removing any negative accounts on your credit report. Now, this is a lot simpler than a lot of people think, so I'm gonna show you, don't worry. If you're wondering right now, does your repo count? Yes, it does count. Does your bankruptcy count? Yes, it does count. Does your student loan count? Yes, it does count. Even though with student loans, I do not recommend you dispute student loans unless it's negative though. I want you to understand this one thing. Anything can be removed off your credit report, whether that's positive or negative, but we're only gonna attack the negatives. All right, now there's a lot of different ways of going about removing negative accounts of your credit report. Some more difficult, some a lot more easier. I'm gonna show you the easier method. There are 2 easy ways to actually remove negative accounts of your credit report. The first way is to pay somebody like a credit repair company to actually do it for you. But this can cost a lot of money, so I'm gonna go with the option number 2. Option number 2 is a DIY AI software. The one I recommend for you is kmcreditsystem.com. This software, you can actually get strong dispute letters printed out in literally a few simple clicks. So the first thing you'll do is go over to this website, which I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Then you simply just want to create an account with them. The software is actually completely free to use. All you need is your 3B credit report, which is separate from the software. One that integrates with the software is Smart Credit. Once again, go to the website. Once you start filling out your information, it's actually going to prompt you over to Smart Credit to actually create an account with them. If you have a Smart Credit account already, then just log in and make sure you have the right subscription plan. And once you do that, you're actually going to be prompted inside of the software. And as long as you connect your 3B credit report through Smart Credit, you're going to see a button where it says generate dispute letters. So once again, since the software is free, you will be able to create an account with the software and be able to get in there, but you can't do anything with it because you don't have your 3B report. So that's key. But once you hit generate letter, you hit add dispute reason, they're gonna actually give you a custom reason, so you don't have to do anything. You literally just press yes, 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 and that's it. After that, you're actually able to print it out and send it via certified mail to the credit bureau. The reason why I suggest certified mail is so you can actually track that, because you don't want it to get over there, they say, hey, we never got any mail from you at all. And with your letters, you want to add a copy of your ID, a copy of your social, and proof of address. Attach these documents to your letter and you're good to go. Now, when it comes to removing negative items off your credit report, depending on your credit profile, sometimes it can be a little bit more annoying. But nonetheless, you will be able to get the negative items off your credit report as long as you keep attacking them. And the rounds typically takes 30 to 35 days or even 40 days. Now, the best thing is inside the software itself, it will literally track the dates for you. So once you send off your letter, you just mark that you sent off that date and it will track it so you don't have to try to remember. And if the negative items did not get removed off the first round, the software will literally update and give you even better letters. Then you send that off and just keep doing that over and over until the negative items is removed off your credit report. And you can do that for every single negative item that's on your credit report. So like I said, the late payments, the repos, the collections, all those things can be removed off your credit report, or even the bankruptcies. Now, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. That's 3 simple tricks you can utilize to be able to boost your credit score. I'll leave a link to the AI software in the training video on how to actually utilize it. So if you're confused at all, that will be a full in-depth video that goes a lot more in detail with the website and everything like that. So I highly recommend you watch that as well. Without further ado, I hope y'all enjoyed this and I'll catch y'all on the next one.